Hello, everyone. My name is David, and welcome to Story Time. In the review of first part, we get to see Sarah and what happens to her on that fateful day when she woke up and found out everything had stopped. We're going to go across the waters now to her sister that's about to start her work week. And as she boards the Euro to head to Paris, she settles down in her sleeper berth and she sets things in motion. Sure, Shyla could take a plane, a jet, or something else to get there. But for over the past 8 years, this is what she has done. You see, she lives in South London, but she takes the Euro and she boards there in South London and she gets into her sleeper berth. She pays that extra little bit since she has a diplomatic passport. See, she's a translator for the UN in Paris. She takes documents and she translates them back into the languages for the United States. No matter what the documents are, she's a translator. She is known for 6 different languages, speaking fluently, writing, and understanding all. And that's the reason why the United States has hired her to be a document translator. And for the past over 8 years now, Shala has boarded the Euro, got her sleeper berth, lay down, and went to sleep. Now, there's something that she took with her. Since she was going to be spending the next 5 days in Paris translating, there's certain things she wanted to have with her. One is matches, because she's got to have matches to light the incense candles. You see, she didn't like the smell of Europe itself. Paris was no different than Germany or Spain and Portugal. They all smell the same to her, and she really did not like the smell of it. It smelled like dirty water. So she took incense candles to light her, to dissipate the smell. But as she took and boarded the Euro this time, she lay down, turned off all the lights in her cabin, and went to sleep. And long about midnight, a little bit past midnight, something amazing had happened. Shala had woke up. And Shala, you need to realize, is about, well, she don't like to call herself 6 foot. She calls herself 5'11" and 4/4. A little bit of a pun there. But it didn't make her feel as tall. But she was tall for her. And she used that as her little escape from reality. And she had kind of a brunette type of hair, is what she called it. More like a dirty redhead. that was there, and she had the greenest eyes you could ever see. So she made sure that her hair did not go into a fiery red, because redheads over in Europe did not go good, especially with green eyes. She had that Greek feature about her, oval face, high cheekbones, sharp chin, and a not pointed but slightly less than rounded nose. Eyes set, not as deep as some of the Americans that was there, but yet deep enough to where everybody recognized her as an American. But long about 1 o'clock in the morning, just after 12, she woke up and everything was pitch black. I mean, just as black as could be. She put her hands in front of her eyes and she couldn't see it. Usually she woke up once the Euro reached the France side, but she didn't wake up this time. She was sound asleep. That's the reason why she took it, because 2 hour flight from London over to Paris was the same as 2.5 hours from London, South London, on a Euro, and she had a sleeper berth, didn't cost us much, and she'd wake up underneath the UN building or get off at the UN building in Paris. And she just had to walk upstairs and go to work. And she rented a boarding house in Paris with three other women. Yeah, four in there, kind of crowded, but it made things a little bit cheaper, a little bit more sustainable for her. When she woke up and it was pitch black, she didn't, her mind was just full of confusion as to where she was and what was going on. She didn't hear any noise or anything from outside, so she had no idea that everybody had unboarded the Euro and that they had left her. They may have knocked on her cabin door to wake her, but she didn't wake up. Not until now. So she kind of fumbled around and she found her matches and she found one of her incense candles. And she lit the candle to give herself a little bit of a light. And it showed a small glow, enough for her to see her way around. And she opened the door to her cabin and then she stepped outside. She didn't hear nothing, didn't see nothing, had no idea about what was going on. Charlotte took her long, slinky frame and her packages of matches and incense candles and headed to the exit. And when she got there, she found out that it exited onto a platform that ran east and west. Well, she didn't know where she was at, but she knew she needed to go east over towards Paris. And that's the direction she started heading. You see, when the Euro was built with three tunnels. One heading from east to west, another one west to east, and a maintenance tunnel in the middle, which was for sometimes the high speed transits going from one place to another. But most of the time it was just shut down. As she exited her train, the Euro there, She started walking towards Paris. She didn't hear nobody, didn't see nobody. She stopped several times wondering, if she was going the right direction. And in her mind, she concluded, well, I've started this route. I might as well go on this way. Don't know where I'm at. This is halfway between here and there, at least something like that. And she had long left her train where it was at, and she couldn't see it no more, especially in the darkness the way that it was. But she noticed when she sat down on the ledge of the walking platform that on the other side there was another small ledge, and she noticed the symbol for a nuclear fallout shelter. And now she had been walking on the south side of the platform that faces the water, and on the other side faced towards the third line underneath. And as she saw the fallout sign, she said, well, a fallout means there's going to be a phone somewhere. And she probably could call and get some help to find out what's going on. So Sarah took her long Lincoln frame and she went across over to the other ledge. And she started following the signs, the arrows to the fallout shelter. And she finally came to a hub there where big fallout sign was at. And she had no idea what was going on because the thing was shut. Nothing was shining. Nothing was showing anywhere. So she took and leaned against the fallout sign. And when she did, it gave a little bit. And she saw a faint glow on the other side. Ah, she thought, this is the glow from emergency lights. What is this? So she got into push the fallout sign a little bit more, and it opened up to a small room with a sign and stairs pointing downward to the way out. It just said exit on it and going down the steps. Well, she went down the steps and she got to the bottom ledge, and was a small tram car there. And when she got to the bottom ledge, the lights come on down there automatically to her. And she started thinking, well, there ain't no phone here. Let's get in this tram and see where it goes. She got in the tram and it automatically started up. She didn't have to do anything. Kind of puzzling to her what was going on. But it took off into the direction she needed to go towards Paris. And it didn't go far, maybe a mile, maybe a mile and a half, where it stopped. And the lights come on, and she got there. And she didn't need her candle anymore. She's thinking, well, let's get out here, find out what's going on. And she got out and she walked up to a big metal door. And she took and pushed the metal door. Didn't have no lock on it. It was just a big door. She pushed on it, it came open, and everything lit up in there. And she noticed that there was a chair and a table and a video camera, video monitor screens. And she walked in and went to the chair and sat down, and the screen lit up. And a voice came out and said, you are the first one here at the fallout shelter. You now have rule over everything. You are a government official. This is time of crisis and emergency needs. And so you need to take charge. Please read the photos in the lockers and understand what's going on. But before you do, make sure that all entrances are locked and you have complete control. Shyla didn't know what to think about all this. Control of what? And what's going on? How has all this taken place? And moreover, why? Her tall frame, even though she did have the duck in the doorway coming in, was set up. But on the video, it also showed where she was in a fallout shelter, how big it was. There was three of them all total. One towards the west, one towards the east, and one towards the middle here. And approximately 5,000 people could be in each one of them. And apparently she had control over all that. And where she was sitting at was the control center. And as she listened to the video explain her power and what she had, she went to the file door, opened it, and there was a little red folder in there and a phone. But it was a emergency phone. It was a sat phone. She understood this from working at the UN that this was an uplink to satellite communication that was above her. And as she read the photo, it explained to her she needed to link up to the satellites, encrypt this code that was in the folder that would give her an uplink to all communication satellites around the world. And all Shyla could think of. Okay. But it also informed her she needs to change codes so that no others can take and intercept what she was doing. All she could think of was something terrible has happened. Has there been a war? Has there been something happen economically? What's going on? Why is it that this is happening right now? She had no understanding about what was going on. And then it gave her a live feed where she sat back down to the outside. And she saw the aurora borealis, the northern lights taking place. But this was the time of the year for that. And it's supposed to be morning time. She wasn't supposed to be seeing this. Then she understood that this was a kind of a buffer that the earth had to filter out radiations and things coming into it. And with her depth underneath the channel, English Channel there, going from London to Paris, and she's about 5 miles underwater. So what was ever going on must have been something electrical affecting all the electricity. And she figured her death underwater is what saved her. So she set about to do the things that she needed to do. She took and got into the sat phone and changed codes all the way around. And then she got back out into the channel, went back to the exit, made sure the door was closed. And there was a little lever there on the door that permanently locked it from the inside. I mean, she was safe in her place. Now she was supposed to go to the other places and unlock them for people coming in, but she didn't do that. They couldn't get in. She had control over it. So Charlotte started thinking about her sister that lived over there in, what was that? Jamaica Beach. Yeah, in Galveston. She's going to be a nurse there. And thinking about her brother that lived, where was that? Oh, yeah, Boulder, Colorado. And she started thinking, well, their phones may not be working either. Because if they have no power, no electricity of any kind, they won't have any way to communicate with anybody. She knew her brother was a survivalist, a prepper, as they call him, so he would be all right. But her sister was a doctor, and the things she was worried about her more than anything else. Also in the file folder was a list of stored food, gas, diesels, propane, and natural gas underneath there, and control over her own power. Right now, she's running off a generator that's situated underneath the earth there. And it vented out onto land way apart where she didn't have to worry about getting asphyxiated from fumes and everything. But Shala could only think about what she needed to do right then at that time. And that was to secure her place there and to make ready to see if she couldn't get her brother and sister to where she's at. Oh, they're in the United States. I'm in this tunnel. How in the world would I ever get them into the tunnel? She was thinking. But no matter what she was thinking that she needed her family with her.